In this video we're going to look at multiplying fractions. Now if I gave you the fraction 1 over 10 and then said I want half of it. Now another way of saying half of it would be to say multiplied by a half. Multiplied by a half. Now a tenth, half of a tenth, you would expect to be a 20th, just as half of a fifth you'd expect to be a tenth, half of a half you'd expect to be a quarter, so half of a tenth you'd expect, and indeed it is true, that it's a 20th. So 1 over 20. Now I'll give you another example. If you had 1 over 10, now this time it's times by 2, but instead of just writing times by 2, I'll write the exact same thing in a slightly different way, 2 times 2 over 1. Now 2 over 1, anything over 1 is just that anything, so 2 over 1 is just 2. So a tenth multiplied by 2 over 1, what would you expect a tenth multiplied by 2 to be? Well, you might expect it to be a fifth, just as if you had a quarter multiplied by 2, it would be a half. So a tenth multiplied by 2 over 1, that just equals a fifth. Now, you may already have noticed the pattern. We have on the top row, in blue, we have the numerator, and on the bottom row we have the denominator. Now in both of these cases, if we actually multiply the numerators, I'm actually going to write that down. If we, in red, multiply numerator and let's say multiply denominator, we always seem to get the right answer. In the first case, if we multiplied 1 times 1, we would get 1. If we multiplied 10 times 2, we would get 20. In the second case, 1 times 2 would be 2, over 10 times 1 would be 10. So this would equal 2 over 10. Now that is the same thing as 1 over 5. 1. So indeed, multiplying the numerator and multiplying the denominator when you're multiplying fractions always gets the right answer. So if we had the example, a more complicated example this time. So say we had 7 over 4 multiplied by 3 over 2. Now, what we can in effect do, if we're deciding, and if we've seen it's correct, that we can multiply the top line and then just multiply the bottom line, well, we could quite simply draw a line here and have two different x's, and it would work just as well. So we would have 7 times 3 and 4 times 2. In the same case with these two examples, if we just drew a line across, we would have 1 times 1, 10 times 2, and it would work. It would get the correct answer always. 1 times 2 over 10 times 1. So in this case, 7 times 3 over 4 times 2 equals, we would have 21 over 8, which is indeed the correct answer. So one more example, this time in turquoise. If we had 9 over, let's say, 7, and we multiplied that by, let's say, 11 over 3, what would that be? Well, we could simply draw a line in between, and we would have 9 times 11 and 7 times 3. So we would have 9 times 11, which is 99, over 21. And that's how you multiply fractions.